Other item in the headlines, really, which is the withdrawal of the 2000 rupee currency note. The formal process for exchange has started all across the country since the morning, and over the last few days, we have seen various reports on how people are dealing with this. The question to you is about what are likely to be the consequences, broader economic and monetary consequences of the withdrawal of these currency notes over the next 120 odd days.
None, actually, I hope. Look, the notes, it depends how you implement. And again, we've seen that the government is learning from feedback, that, you can exchange it anywhere. There are no questions asked. Previously, people were talking about, oh my God, here's another demonetization. Nothing like that. The RBI governor has been quite outspoken, coming out with the reasons why this needs to be done, and soil notes and so on and so forth. And this has been, the original plan was to come out with these because of demonetization. Suddenly, you needed to have liquidity in the system, and that liquidity was provided by this. So it was always planned to phase out. And I think that's what's going to happen, with not much consequence on the economy or anything else. So I think this will have a happy ending. I mean, it isn't, it was just the announcement and people were unsure, uncertain. And given that we had the demonetization experience before, there was reason for people to be a bit worried. And I don't think there's much reason for anybody to worry. It's working quite well. At the SBI, you can exchange any amount of money, no questions asked. And that's how I hope we go on.
Dr. Bhalla, my question to you is, was this really necessary? And the reason I'm asking you this question is that from a peak of roughly 6.5 lakh crore of 2000 rupee denomination notes in circulation, the system had already sucked out almost 50% of those currency notes over the period from the time of issuance, 2016 onwards. It could have conceivably gone down to zero 2000 rupee notes in circulation over 4 or 5 years. And the reason I ask you this is that if no questions are being asked in banks for exchange, and those who deposit are under KYC and the tax net, then where is the question of mopping up any possible black money, sir?
Yeah, I look, good question on the black money. I don't think that there is much scope for mopping up black money through this, especially as you said, no questions are asked. You don't know where it's coming from or where it came from. So I think, the black money problem is a separate problem. And, one other point on all of this, on cash in circulation, etc. And that goes back to the earlier point I made, that there has been considerable fintech revolution. The informal economy is also now operating with less and less cash. So that is why I think that removing these notes from circulation will not have any impact on the economy. That is something all of us around the world actually have to get used to, is that it's a very different world. You yourself would know from your own use of cash or less use of cash. So think of the removal of the 2000 rupee notes as part of that process of having that the economy needs less cash. Unlike, it was just 6 years ago that we had the demonetization. And it was a very different story. That this is welcome to the brave new world where it's changing very fast, and cash is not king anymore.
Cash is not king anymore, and pink is the new black. One could also argue that perhaps when it comes to soiled notes, greater attention may need to be paid to lower denominations, which get exchanged much more frequently, and in certain kind of activities where the soilage is much higher. But I'll skip that for now, Dr. Bhalla, because I want to take a couple of
Yeah,
questions on the state of the economy. Uh,
yeah.
uh,
One last thing, and this is pure open speculation. I don't know. I don't know the data. I don't know what that could it be that given that the 2,000 rupees were brought in haste, obviously, to compensate for the withdrawal of liquidity, large amounts of liquidity in 2016, that they are easier to forge. I don't know. That could be another fake notes. That could be another possible reason. Now, clearly, no government is going to tell you that there are lots of fake notes or whatever. So I don't know. What I'm saying is that I don't see much consequence of removal of 2,000 notes as long as no questions are asked, because that's the rules of the game, and no question should be asked. And if that is the case, then I think there's zero consequence.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.